June 25th, 1984. This is Joe Todd. The following is an interview with Mr. Kirk by Don Yeager in May of 1956 in Ardmore, Oklahoma.
I'm just visiting my children. Rosa and my baby child, and I have two daughters in Oklahoma City, one son, and two sons out here, Gene.
So you're actually staying with Rosella right now here on West Main?
Yes.
How long have you been in Ardmore, Mr. Kirk, or around it?
Well, I've come to Ardmore when I was going on 21. I was staying, well, come to Texas with stepdad when I was 17 years old. Stayed there 4 years. Well, now you can count it. I counted I was 20 when you come to Bowen.
So actually you've been in Oklahoma itself about 67 years.
I've been counted as I've been here longer than that.
Well, of course, if you count that 4 years, that'll be 71.
Yes, you see, my wife died last May the 2nd, and when we was in our 65 years, we lived together. Now you can count it.
Well, Mr. Kirk, where did you live as a boy?
In Texas.
After you moved from Texas, you moved to Gene Autry or Berwyn?
Bowen.
Well, can you describe your old home place?
My kid Bowen?
Yes,
sir. And if you could go out there, you wouldn't forget it no more. They'd begin testing for oil, and they dug artificial well, water just stands up.
Is that right?
Just a little piece of my house.
Still some of it standing?
Yes, sir. It's running.
It is?
Yes, it's running.
Well, no. Well, how was it made, Mr. Kirk?
He was digging, testing for oil, and it struck a vein. 30 feet and the water come up. And my son got him to go 20 feet further. The boy just stands out running this.
Well, how about the fencing situation then? You mentioned that there wasn't any wire fence or any barbed wire.
There wasn't no barbed wire in them. Well, a long time ago, it was all rail fence. And I never seen no barbed wire till I was grown.
Is that right?
In Texas, where I lived at, they had hedge fences, boardock, And they just get the sprouts and plow a ditch right on the line where on the fence. And last time I was out in Texas, I saw it still. It cuts it down and leaves them still standing up. That's a fence nothing can go through. More than rabbits.
They're still standing, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, when you made a house, or when you made your home, did you just build it yourself, or did other people help you build your house?
Oh, I got a carpenter. Name's Penland Cobb. He lived out here west of Ardmore. He built a house.
He did?
Yes. 4 rooms, 14 foot square, and the kitchen, 12 or 14.
Oh, you really had a nice size home then.
Yes, sir. It's a 72 foot porch. North and south, east and west. Then the front part goes a long way.
Well, didn't they make a party out of building a home? Didn't folks come from all around and help a man build a home a long time ago?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the way they built a home in them times. Just like they call it house raising. All you had to do is give them to them. Then next one come up same way. But when I went to Texas, I done much work plowing as another man. And then you can't guess what I was getting a month.
No.
$7.50 a month.
$7.50 a month?
$7.50 a month.
Is that as a boy or as a man?
That was men's work. And they didn't have no smoke out of it. Just had trees hang the meat up and had to use yourself. And went on there. In 2 years, they eventually make you a smokehouse. But you had to pay for the top if you left inside of 2 years. You had to cover it yourself.
Well, when you studied, Mr. Kirk, as a boy, how did you study? Or what did you study, or where?
Study books?
Yes, sir.
Well, I first started off back in Georgia when they were here. Blueback spelling book. But when you go halfway through the blueback spelling book, spelling and reading, you get a first reader. Then when you halfway through now, and when you go through it, then you get a second reader. And my talk about now 10th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. According to where I was, I know they didn't get no further than 6th grade, but I know it before I went.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
They really taught you then, huh?
I read, didn't go over no ground plane. I learned what I went through.
Mm-hmm. Well, how did you study, Mr. Kirk? By fire or lamplight or how?
Oh, they had schools back there like they here.
Oh, did they?
Yes, sir.
How were the teachers? Were they white teachers or colored teachers?
Color.
They were colored teachers
Yes,
at that time.
Well, our teachers come up. There wasn't no colored teachers ahead of them.
Oh.
The people that lived on that place liked them, you know.
Oh.
And then when the scholar get up, knowing as much as the teacher, he was turned back in the field away. And the scholar going on.
Oh. Well, how long did you go to school, Mr. Kirk? Did you go for a full year?
Oh, no, sir. Make them sick, you go for a year. 2 months, 2 months and a half, that was called a year, going to school.
Oh, well, what was the reason for that?
Well, they used to in the field working. Anything like picking up stalk, burning brush, anything like that. Only time we had to go to school when you laid by, meat cotton picking.
Mm-hmm. That was between then the chopping and the planting season, you might say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, how far was it from your home to your school building? Did you have to walk a pretty good ways?
I say, last school I went to walk 6 miles, and I had a brother and sister walk 3 miles to school.
Oh. Well, they had a deal then, just having to walk 3 miles. Well, what kind of work did you do around home, Mr. Kirk?
Well, we children, in clearing time, we cut stalks, pile brush, clean the land off for the plow. Yeah, I never seen but 1 or 2 double team to plow. The rest of the year before we left there. Everybody had one horse or one mule.
Oh. Well, what were your working hours? Did you have the 10-hour work day or what?
Man work from sun to sun.
Sun to sun. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Get up and down with the chicken.
I'll say. Yes, sir, that's right.
Well, have you ever cut any timber, Mr. Kirk? I know that's a foolish question.
Go ahead.
Have you ever cut any timber? Or split any fences?
Oh, that's what come to Texas I did, but back there I was too small.
Mm-hmm. Well, after you started growing up, say 17, that would be just about when you came to Texas.
Yes, sir.
And when you came up here, you mentioned a while ago that you made $7.50 a month.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
That's as a man's pay doing what kind of job?
Any kind of work in the field. Farming.
Mm.
$7.50.
Well, I hear that you've been quite a bronc rider in your time.
Don't go back over that. Make me go ride on the ride now.
Uh-oh.
I'm going on 89. I've been through twice with a horse. People used to bring a horse for me to break. I ride him like a bird.
Uh-oh.
I got throwed once, saddle and all. That's the way I got throwed that time. But another time, I wasn't looking at horse pitching. It was so fast I couldn't get the swing of him.
Uh-oh.
You can get on the horse and get the swing his way of going. You can't throw yourself alive.
Right, get that rhythm.
Yes, sir.
Well, did they kid you pretty much when you got thrown at school?
I say they did. I was called a horse breaker. The girls, I ain't paying attention, boys. The girls said, the horse rider got thrown today. I said, no, beg your pardon. He didn't throw me, he just run through the woods and pitching it and brace, tore my face up.
Wouldn't admit it.
You know,
Well, how about the hunting, Mr. Kirk? Was it pretty good?
oh man, that was free. Kill all the deer you want, all the turkey you wanted.
Mm.
You ain't had no sister Joe. Limited person like hunting or like that.
course, you had the big watermelon patch. People still swap watermelons in your day like they do now?
It ain't penalty what people eat. The deers will eat them at night. Watermelons and pumpkins, marshmallows, cantaloupe.
They raised just about everything they could get seeds for.
Yes, sir.
Well, how about the cattle trails through Ardmore? I know once you mentioned some cattle going through to St. Louis. Did they do that a couple of times?
Yes, I said a couple of times, the whole time.
Yeah.
They bring cattle from Gainesville, come on through, cross Red River, then cross Washington back over here, next to the mountain, and where they came across, one or two men would get in first. They had to swim most of the time, and the cattle would follow.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You had to have somebody to make them follow them, though.
Yes, sir. It'd be a pretty good bunch of men driving them.
Well, of course, religion plays a big part in anyone's life. Do you recall the minister of your day?
The one I missed putting in the other day, his name is Henry Darrington, married me the second time.
Who now?
Henry Darrington.
Darrington.
Yes. And George Hall.
Uh-huh.
Them was two ministers in our settlement.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, what about this carrying guns in the pulpit?
He's ignorant. Preacher come to church, take off his gun, lay it down, look at that. Church hall.
Is that right?
Yes,
Everybody wore a gun then.
Everybody. This time I got old enough, I got me a gun. Then cats wouldn't, no person cared for varmints and things in the woods.
Uh-huh. Well, how about the ownership of the land then, Mr. Kirk? Was it were the colored people predominant, or were there Indians or white people, or just what was it?
Well, it was Indian territory. It was Chickasaw and Choctaws. They had the land, you know, just like these.
Yes, sir.
And the Indian people didn't do no work. It's make a debt. Well, I call it, they forget about it. They turn over and lease it to somebody else. And you lease it out, it's all right, and then you go and get another place.
Is that right?
And the colored native, other Indians, they got right land too, same 40 acres to the family.
Oh.
Yes, that's visible.
Well, later on, I guess it built up this to be quite a colored territory then, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. And on the end of it, they go ahead and make a debt, I call them, they forget about it. You know, your people, they come along, pay tax up,
Oh.
pay tax out,
Mm-hmm.
it's their land. I can go and show you 10 miles around brother. Outside a place I got out there, another man joined me. The colored people ain't got no land.
Is that right? Paid the back taxes up
Yes,
and got the land.
yes.
Well, what kind of people were there in those days, Mr. Kirk? Were they people that liked to settle down, or were they the drifting type?
It's a drifting type of people.
They were the drifters?
Yes, sir, it's a drifting type.
Well, was there lots of lawlessness in those days?
Law.
Lawlessness. A lot of people who didn't have much sense, you might say, as far as the law.
It sure didn't have much sense. And then there wasn't no law around Ardmore much. If anything went for crime, anything, stealing anything, had to go to Paris, Texas.
Is that right?
That's why it was there.
All the way to Paris.
Go to Paris, Texas.
There was a famous judge in Paris, wasn't there?
What is that?
Wasn't there a famous judge in Paris? A hanging judge, didn't they call him that?
I don't know.
Well, how about segregation, Mr. Kirk, in the earlier 1900s, say 1905, around in there? What were the rights of the colored people? Just about like they are now?
Yes. Well, not as much. Yeah. It's segregation. They didn't have that. When I went to school, there was 4 white families come, not Mississippi. I can't think of the place now. I taught school here.
That's all right. Well, were there lots of privileges
They had too much privilege reading, it didn't work.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, didn't you have your own town around here? Like Tatum? How about the jobs, Mr. Kirk? What kind of jobs did you do after you got to be, say, up in your 25s?
Oh, I was married, man. I worked on the farm, man.
You were a farmer, huh?
Yes,
Did you have lots of experiences?
I did.
Did you?
I'm sure.
Well, what else did you do besides farming, Mr. Kirk?
I saw
Farm?
this farm. Well, I cut hay
Did you?
and made molasses
Oh.
and took me up that time to cotton picking time, baling hay all the time.
Well, did you have any side jobs? I remember you said something about making coffins. Have you ever made any coffins?
Yes, sir. But I suppose the ambulance cut because the ambulance people now get them from the factory. But people in the box at the end, they had to go ahead and make your boxes yourself.
Oh, is that right? How'd they make them?
I'd get the measure from the far hard arm, be the other way, and saw it and then bend it.
Oh?
Sort of plank back.
How come you had to bend it?
Well, they can make them coffin style.
What was the place for the elbows or something like that?
That's what you, they sew it, so you could bend the plank,
Uh-huh.
then nail the head and foot.
Uh-huh. Well, didn't you start the first cemetery or help start the first cemetery?
I did out there at Mount Pleasant.
Out there at Gene.
Yes.
Well, how was the inside of a coffin? How did it look? Did you put any cloth or anything
Put
in it?
white cloth in, and you get black cloth and put on the outside.
You put it black on the outside.
Yes, sir.
Well, how about the transportation, Mr. Kirk? Did you have automobiles in, or did you
Oh,
have
no.
buses?
No, sir. I don't see an automobile myself till I was 20 years old, going 29.
Oh,
And I was in Texas that last year in Texas. They started airplanes year before they did automobiles. And the people in Texas shut up. Then he went to the place where he stopped in Tennessee. Sent back in the papers they had mighty poor marks from in Texas couldn't hit an airplane or a gun.
well, didn't you get a hack? Didn't you build up to where you could own you a hack?
I sure did. Yes, sir.
Well, I hear you had a pretty good team of horses, too.
Mm-hmm.
How about the moonshining then, Mr. Kirk? Was there a lot of it going on?
Plentiful.
Was it?
I feel so much different, you know.
How'd they make it?
They can grind up like compared to mill. Put in a boiler. And the rod went right through like underground, right through the water. To keep from burning, it's catching fire. And it's so cheap. People in Exodus in Texas like do up here, but here just that's common to them now. Peach brandy, apple brandy.
Just about anything they could get a hold of and crush up then, wasn't
Yes, sir.
it? How much did it cost?
$1.25 gallon.
Get a whole gallon for $1.25.
Yes.
Well, now your marriage, of course, was an awful important part in your life, Mr. Kirk. Who did you marry? And if you can remember when? And what children did you have?
I first married. Her name was May Finale. After she did, after 2 years, I married my second wife. I was 31. That's fall we married December 28, 1900.
Oh. And what children did you have by your first and second marriages, Mr. Kirk?
Did you get JT and Barney?
No, J.T. and Barney.
That's my first wife. Sure. Well, now, I told you about I had 2 boys killed out here in the country.
No.
William Wesley and J.B.
Oh.
and Bertha Lee and Eileen. Them are children's dead.
Uh-huh.
But now, as I called Ethel and Sesame,
Mm-hmm.
Sir James Wesley, Oklahoma City. I got four dead here and 6 living.
6 living.
Yes.
That's Rosella. Rosella, you didn't mention her.
No, well, she's a big one. Is good. There's 3 boys and 3 girls living.
Uh-huh.
I see Ethel, Yeager, Sesame, and Roselle.
That's the ones that live in there.
Yes. And James Wesley, Oklahoma City.
Well, now, of course, the important colored people of your day, there was a lot of them. Who were the ministers? We've mentioned them once, but let's recall them again.
George Hall, Henry Dangton. Well, I got putting Ned Roberts in the other side, but he was in another settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Dangton, George Hall is in my ministers, not my settlement.
Mm-hmm. Let's see now. For some people, there was Will Jones. You remember what he used to do?
Yes. I leased some land from him when I first married from him, Will Jones.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
How about George and Alfred Johnson? You remember those 2 guys?
Albert Johnson. They live down by me there.
Oh.
Native people this country, they were joining me down that thing.
They were your neighbors.
Yes, they're my neighbors, I think.
How about O'Eeflin James? You remember him?
Mm-hmm. You remember about me telling you about you had a lot of land, the colored man had a lot of land, lot of rent, and he'd come to church sometimes and sit on his horse and look in the window.
They would go inside.
No.
How about Sandy Elliott?
Well, he was a kind of wicked man, too. He's a school teacher. He wicked to be.
Well, Will Davidson, you remember him?
Mm-hmm. He's a neighbor who lives right by me.
He was your other neighbor.
Yes, he's older than I am.
Well, Mr. Kirk, that seems to wrap it up.
Okay.
We certainly do thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope you can
You went over a while ago to get Carter County, didn't you?
Sir?
You went back over to get Carter County now, I thought a while ago.
We certainly do thank you, Mr. Kirk.
You're plumb welcome.
And we hope to see you around for many years to come. Hope you can go out and catch a lot of fish out Lake Murray. Go hunting. And this has been Don Yeager of Senior in Ardmore High School, and this recording has been made in the month of April, 1956.
Well,